no poo on YouTube.
Poo on the tube.
I like that you conveniently say that
Tubey
before.
poo. Poo
All right.
tube.
All right, screen's coming up. Are you ready? Hello, everybody. And hello to everyone who's forming on in. Hello to everyone out in the world. Happy Father's Day, by the way, to all the fathers who will be joining in. And even if you're not a dad, I'm assuming you've got a dad, so happy Father's Day to them as well.
And if you don't, if you've cut them out of your life, then whoever your fill-in special family circus person is...
Special circus person?
No, I'm serious. Family takes many shapes and forms. You do what you gotta do. We just hope that you are having a good day today.
Yeah.
My dad is not with us anymore, and so it's a sad day for me. But I'm really happy to be here with all of y'all, doing some spongy paw.
Yeah. SpongeBob time.
Hey, Ray, thanks for coming in. We already got a question. Still working on this scene? This must take ages.
Well,
tell them about that.
All right, fine. We will tell you about that. And so here's the deal. There are, let's see, I think there's roughly in this 11-ish minute episode, there are roughly 18 scenes. So what you saw a couple of episodes ago was working on scenes 1 through 6, which are not fully done, but we're still in that stage where you need to rough them in first. Let them really play out. We've come up with some different gags, visual gags, lines where we may want to go back and say something. You deciding to our first hairball.
What do you mean by gag?
That is
like gag.
Yes, exactly. It's that kind of gag. It's going to be that kind of show. So welcome everybody.
This is what you brought me here for. You're going to get it.
Exactly.
All right, everyone who is here, thank you for being here today. Welcome, welcome. Tell us where you're from. We want to know. Last week we had people from all over the planet. It was so cool.
Yep. We had Scotland and
Germany.
Arkansas.
A lot of people from Alabama representing. That was, hey man, wherever you're from, let us know. Put it in the chat.
The big SpongeBob, Bob's Burgers, Alabama contingency. We love you.
Yep, we love you.
So we're working now on the later scenes. So those were anytime we would go to this 2-shot or 1-shot of Bob and Linda in scenes 1 through 6 is what we worked on earlier. Now we're working on scenes 10 through 14.
Ooh.
So coming back after, we've got a whole gag with our version of Gale. That will actually do a deep cut to WKRP in Cincinnati for those of you people who are my age.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah. Hey, if one of the things interesting about Bob's Burgers in particular is the fact that Linda, well, actually any of them, because what's funny is that even the kids, who obviously, even at the time the shows were originally coming out, would have only been born in the early 2000s.
Sure.
But I've heard Linda make a Lonnie Anderson reference, and Lonnie Anderson was best known for her role in WKRP in Cincinnati. So if they can do it, we can do it. We're going to all the hardcore fans.
Once upon a time, there was this thing called radio.
We're doing Leprechaun movies. We're doing
Dude, we got Mogu from Japan. Yes, that is awesome.
Hey,
I remember one word, and it's abunai, which I think means watch out. I learned.
Feel free to.
Arigato, doedashimashite, and abunai. That's not terrible. I'm such an American. Oh my God. I apologize for all of us. Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, what little we would learn from We Bare Bears. Is that even Japanese or is that Korean?
I don't know. That's a good question. Does anyone here watch We Bare Bears?
Yeah.
And if so, do you know? I'm gonna do some Googling.
Yeah, because it's amazing how often the characters will just step into different languages.
Hey, just Care Bear.
Well, hello there.
Hey, Animator Brandon. Oh, you like the live?
Yay!
We love the hearts. Okay, let's do some searching. We got work to do here.
Exactly. So I'm gonna turn down the music here for just a moment.
Music.
So many buttons, so many screens. Let's see, if I turn it down here, there we go. So you'll be able to hear a little bit of the new lines on this. Make sure I'm in the right screen, on the right app, or I'll hit play and any number of disasters will happen.
See, we all can have bad ideas, Bob.
So this is coming back after his great idea of how they're going to get out of their messy situation in this episode.
Messy.
So yeah, he's already obviously looking worried. So for those of you unfamiliar or refresher course, I work primarily in Adobe Animate for the animation part of it. Once upon a time, it was known as Flash. Remember all you kids when it was all Flash games and Flash this and Flash that? Well, now it's called Animate.
Now they're gonna think you're talking about flashing.
Yeah, or we're talking about the Flash that released this weekend.
We're not going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about that. So right now it's just So someone obviously recognized that we're still using the same background as the previous shots, but we need to start emphasizing new shots. Actually, we'll show you the process here. We're going to flip flop over to. So now you're seeing Blender. For those of you who saw the video of the 3D restaurant, this is the Blender 3D program that allows me to have built out the whole thing. Ooh. And what we're doing here, I'm going to have to move it around for our vertical screen
here.
And I'm Linda.
It's Korean.
Well, hello. It is Korean. All right, at least I guessed correctly.
Yeah, you did. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do, because I almost felt myself saying, "Hey, at least we can maybe learn smatterings of different language with We Bare Bears, but we would be learning Korean, which of course would not work for Japanese."
That's correct.
So what you're seeing here is basically a dummy, almost like this cardboard character we've got here of Invincible that I made for Amazon.
Hey, who you calling a dummy? Dummy.
It's cardboard dummy.
Just because I'm from the South doesn't mean I'm necessary. Well, then again.
Exactly. So
I am from the South, so I take it personally.
There you go. So this is, I'm working in two different panels right here. One, let me move over here. So what you're seeing over here is just another version of the restaurant. And the main idea to speed things up in building the backgrounds that you do the animated characters on top of is you'll see right here, let's see if that actually shows up. It's a little hard to see, but there's like a little orangey triangle you can see here. And the idea is that this is just setting up the virtual camera shot. And in this case, what you see here is a shot facing the counter wall, as I call it. But now, on occasion, we'll just be going to a one-shot, just focusing on Linda, talking directly to Bob. And in those cases, I want this shot. And then I was watching Bob's Burgers last night just to see, okay, when they're shooting at this angle, how wide of a lens are they using? And it's weird to realize that an animation also has things like lens depth. So they shoot wide so that their counters are really stretched out. It allows them to have more room in case Teddy and Mort and the kids or everyone else are there.
You've totally lost me. So they're shooting on a camera, or they're creating images that make it seem like they're shooting on a camera?
What's interesting is that since SpongeBob, they're more free with their geometry and stuff like that. So
is this like spatial awareness and what's that horizon thingy?
Perspective.
Perspective.
Ta-da! So yes, all those things they try and teach you in art school about perspective and one point perspective and 2 point perspective, and all those things, foreshortening, angle, eye level, and all that stuff. Part of what goes on with us trying to emulate those worlds is that if I don't have an awareness at least of how Bob's Burgers will normally shoot this kind of shot, from what angle, how high, how low, how deep, how much of the background do you see around them? When they do a close-up, do they go really close? And they do, but usually only for emphasis, because someone said something that brings in a stinger like, exactly.
Mogu says Happy Father's Day, by the way. Thank you.
There you go.
He is a dad.
Oh, you've got... Oh, so with Georgia moderating and whatnot,
I'm doing both.
We're trying to work on both how she's working between an iPad and the TikTok desktop laptop app, and it's so much nicer to see the comments not on a screen.
Ta-da!
It's like, wow, I can actually read them, and they don't vanish, in the first little bit the way they do on the screen. So thank you for that. Makes things good.
94. Thank you for being here, you guys.
Hello,
Again,
yes.
I know right now we have 8 people in the room.
8 people in the room.
8 people.
Hello, 8 people.
Thank you for being here. We love seeing you all.
Yep. So obviously then we're going to also have to work on a version of this where we have a different camera facing this way to Bob, reacting and talking back to Linda, and then I'll have to bring in my little two-dimensional stand-up of Bob as well. Obviously there are shows, we were just watching Spider-Verse, where all of it, well, that's a tough show to talk about because
it was awesome though. Oh, by the way, Pink Diamond, thank you for coming back. Hello. Pink Diamond. Yeah.
We've got there's
a little leg lift.
We are obviously taking advantage of 3D to make things a little bit easier so that, like for example, just seeing it from this angle versus the other angle, I don't have to draw it all from memory and spend all day trying to measure things out so they look accurate. I can basically, so the idea here is that in this render camera, and let me clear the render camera.
I just think of rendering bacon fat for
yes, we're rendering squirrel fat here.
That's terrible. And there's the little trim from your TikTok.
There we go.
This man's a squirrel killer.
Yep. So we will eventually, you can see this frame here that shows what the camera would see, and you render that frame out, and I'll render it with Linda so that I get a general frame reference, a scale reference. Then I'll do a clean version, and then in case someone needs to go in front or behind something, maybe I'll just render the counter out, and then the background wall. And
should we start calling her Squinda?
Squinda? No. Well, I
kind of like Squinda.
It's unfair.
And then you also got Squeena.
Well, someone on one of the videos said that Gary Louise should be Gooies.
How about just Gluey?
Gluey? Gluey and Squooey?
Louise and Squid.
That sounds like a...
Well, she should really be Slinda.
That sounds like an Animaniacs... didn't they have characters like Gluey and Squooey?
I'm sure.
Besides Pinky and the Brain?
Animaniacs is forever and ever. Awesome.
Exactly. So we render these out, and then...
I like Landy. Taylor suggests Landy for Linda and Sandy.
Linda and Sandy,
I like Landy. Okay, we got it.
The funny thing of Gooies is that the flip-flop of that is Larry, and there actually is a Larry the Snail in the world of SpongeBob. I think it was the episode where Gary decides... Well, from SpongeBob's perspective, it looks like Gary has fallen in love and only wants to hang out with Patrick. So to prove that he's not hurt by Gary spending all his time with Patrick, he decides to get his own snail, Larry. But Larry is a angry snail, and then of course we find out the whole time that Gary wanted nothing to do with Patrick. He wanted the cookie in Patrick's pocket.
All right, I don't like this. I'm trying to do the desktop app to type faster, but it doesn't offer as many fun things. So you know what? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, desktop.
I'm coming here.
But it was fun seeing the comments and easy to read
for you.
Fine. TikTok, you got some explaining to do. And as you can see here, TikTok fans, sorry, the lovely, no one's on YouTube at this moment. So
you don't have to tell them that. Millions of people are on YouTube at this very moment.
Yes.
And they look at them all. Notice we're not talking to them at all. We are not paying attention to them.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Exactly, TikTok. We're here for you. Hey, but all jokes aside, the TikTok fans have been incredible. The response, the numbers of the people that show up and like it, even if they only stay for 30 seconds and hop right back out. And the funny thing, of course, is that you would think with all this fandom of TikTok, that the best place to show the episode when it's already September 3rd will be TikTok, but you can't control whether you can have widescreen or not. It seems to be completely random. You can't have something longer than 10 minutes, which is kind of odd because you would think anyone who makes an app these days wants you to stay, like, you want to watch a half an hour? Go for it. You want to do a 2-hour live stream? No problem. Are you sleeping already?
I want to see some drawing.
Oh, are we frozen?
That's what they came for. Oh, it's doing that all over the place. You keep going.
Okay, yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we just like, and after that whole rant, no one could see a thing because we weren't actually transmitting.
Oh, Taylor just said this is going to be a great birthday present to watch. Her birthday or their birthday is the day after the release. That is awesome.
All
Taylor.
right,
We're looking forward to it too.
Labor Day, baby.
Yep.
Yep. For me, my birthday is on the 16th of this month, so this happens to be my birthday, Father's Day weekend, but anytime my birthday falls on a Sunday, I get the double dose of birthday and Father's Day. So everyone gets to cheap out and just give me one.
Cheap out? Wow. What did we do this morning at 7 a.m.? That's right.
Breakfast, baby.
Somebody made someone breakfast in bed. I don't need any, accolades or anything.
But while you toot your horn?
But
Uh-huh. All right, so... Whatever. Are you saying that if it was my birthday and Father's Day today, you would have made me 2 breakfasts?
Can you eat 2 breakfasts?
No.
I didn't think so.
It's the gift. It's the thought that counts.
Double breakfast.
Double breakfast. Second breakfast.
Second breakfast.
Yes.
Breakfast.
I thought...
Nope, not now.
Boy, we're blowing our Japanese, we're blowing our Korean, we're blowing our Scottish today. We're just...
That sounds very inappropriate for TikTok. Just let's stop. Let's move past it. Back to drawing.
I didn't say we were...
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
I know what I heard.
No, yeah, you will. You hear that? You hear that in a soft meow.
Some of us were just born dark, okay?
And that's why we love you.
Good Lord.
All right, so then for those of you who've never seen this before, believe it or not, even as easy as it is to just take a snapshot of the background in 3D and go, done, I do the extra step of still wanting to paint over it so you get something
This looks great. I mean, that scene's pretty much done, right? Look, you got a character and another character.
If it were that easy.
Done.
Well, we could... Why can't I... Oh, here we go. White cover. Okay, so this is actually showing a background fully painted. This one, since it's only one from one direction, I didn't even need to have made the 3D at that point. Let's zoom out. So you can see at least the parameters of this one, but then the camera in here is only seeing this part. And for those of us who were around earlier... So I bring this in white cover just so I can see my pencil scribble... Saving for auto recovery. Then I've got my pencil scribbles on top to do the rough animation.
Oh, hey, Bridge!
Hey, Bridge!
Bridge is asking, what did I miss? Well, you missed a minor discussion over whether We Bare Bears had a Japanese element or a Korean element, which we figured out is a Korean element. And, what else? And it's Father's Day.
And it's Father's Day.
Are you having a good Father's Day? That's actually a great question for the group, for all 4 people who are in here right now.
Yeah.
Are you celebrating Father's Day? Do you have a dad? Do you not have a dad? Do you like your dad? Or do you just have a stepdad? And do you like that person? Or not? These are the questions.
These are
Very
the questions.
Curious.
Exactly.
Yeah, his dad is still around, and he's super cool. He's like, picture Sam Elliott, but more low-key. Really, really great guy.
Low-key Minnesotan, kind of northern Minnesotan. So I guess mix Sam Elliott and Fargo, and you pretty much got it.
My dad's dead, but he was a mix between Robin Williams and Charles Grodin.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Can you see that?
Yep. What you're seeing here up on the screen are the turnarounds. They're called model sheets. They're called turnarounds.
You're getting hearts for that. More model sheets.
More model sheets. The idea with those is that once you start designing the characters, you definitely need to communicate, especially if you have a staff. We don't have no staff here. It's just us.
I'm a staff.
You're a staff, all right.
Bring you coffee.
Yeah, exactly. But the idea is that normally you have to create what they call it a Bible in TV, where you have the things that just say this is the character, this is what they look like, these are the basic props, the general premise of the show. All that stuff goes into what's called a Bible.
SpongeBob is now your god.
Exactly.
All hail.
So you do the model sheet. As you can see here, you see them from different angles, and it's called a turnaround because what you eventually do sometimes is that you'll actually line them up and you'll in an animation program, and you'll have him spin to make sure that as the nose goes, as the hair goes, that things look consistent. There's something in animation called popping or boiling where you can definitely tell something's out of alignment because it doesn't look smooth when a character rotates one way or another or up and down. And you have to deal with all those goofball problems of this two-dimensional character. Well, what does their chin and their face look like if they're looking way up at the ceiling? And it's you look at SpongeBob as in particular, and the way they treat eyes, profiles, hairlines are just, every show will do it differently. Peter's glasses in Family Guy, how do they stay in front of or behind his nose?
The old ones, the first days where the nose comes in front and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, love it.
And then we have another one here, since these scenes are about Bob and Linda, and I haven't done a lot of Linda animation yet. I have to keep reminding myself. And this one's looser. You can tell this was done more in a pencil sketch mode, a very rough one. I actually had time to go back and finalize this one with cleaner lines.
Look at her tail from the back. It kind of looks like she's got a big poop on her back, huh?
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly. And you spend all day going through you're watching frame by frame on SpongeBob for an episode when her tail is in the shot, and you wait for her to face away or face 3/4 away just to go, that's how they do it. And then you bring it into your own style.
Or sometimes I have seen Tom out in our garden watching the squirrels. Waiting for them to turn their butt to him. Yeah. And going, aha!
This sounds like the Gale painting episode now on
The creative
No, so what's the song? No, what's the song?
The creative block.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, so we promised there'd be a little singing. So
So that's the one where Gale paints all the animals
anuses.
with the don't get TikTok banned.
I think you can say
anus. We said it. Okay. Anyways, then she goes,
but
I look at you, I see you, I see what's deep inside of you.
Yeah. Those moments when they just like start going even more off the rails, and you're going like, okay.
Oh my god.
That is
Megan Mullally is just amazing.
Yep.
She is the one who voices Gale.
Yep.
If you don't know who Megan Mullally is, what rock are you living under? Let me tell you, go look her up. She was
Will and
also
Grace?
sassy Will. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name on Will? What's the character's name on Will and Grace?
I almost want to say Karen, but that can't be right.
Might be actually. Wouldn't that just be perfect?
If she was an original Karen.
What if that was the thing that started it?
No, it can't be. I mean, I know it's a popular name, but okay. For those of you who know, what was Megan Mullally's? So we don't Google it here. What was Megan Mullally's character's name on Will and Grace?
Yeah,
and if it's Karen, that's perfect.
To you.
But it doesn't sound like rich and pretentious enough. Even though now Karen has gotten the whole white privilege thing about it.
Well, what's funny is I got to actually PA on a promo for the Will and Grace show, and all 4 of the leads were there, and I actually got to stand right next to. And this is what happens to me now. I say it, and then I go, boop, out of my head. So, Grace.
Yeah.
Played by...
Wow, I've got like...
Yeah.
Megan Mullally... Jennifer Connelly, no.
Nope, just went right out of my brain.
Oh, for
Isn't
crying
this
out loud.
fun? See, this is what happens. Anyways, I got to stand right next to her and hold an umbrella over her to keep the sun off of her beautiful, beautiful white skin.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Aren't our China balls actually from that?
China ball, probably, yeah.
Now, well, maybe
you always
not,
get free swag.
Maybe, yeah. That's the thing. You work on a set long enough, eventually.
Deborah Messing.
Deborah Messing. Yeah.
There we go.
And then who was?
Cheap Karen Walker. It's Karen.
It's
You're
Karen.
right.
Megan,
the original
Megan
Karen
was the original Karen.
Oh my god.
And that's ultimately perfect. That is so perfect, given what became of Karen. All right, we're not getting much animation done, which is fine. This is where we get to spend time with the fans and talk about stuff. Most of animation is just sitting here quietly and sketching and listening to music and whatnot. So it's nice to actually have it. And it's very rare for animators on any level to have it be interactive, unless you're doing things like the vocal booth stuff is very interactive, where you go. You try
louder,
different things.
faster,
yeah. Louder, faster,
and more.
What was the worst thing you ever got from a vocal booth direction that just was like, that doesn't help?
Sadder. Your cat just died. They literally did. Your cat just died. I was like, oh my god, you ass. See, he was a smart ass. It's all right. We ended up figuring it out. I was like, okay.
Yep. Acting.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're going to turn the reference layer off. We're going to put the white cover back on. We're going to put the counter stays in. Oh, what I was going to show to any of the new people who are here, and maybe we just got old people now. Who knows if anyone, if you're a new person and you've never seen any of this stuff before, let us know.
Yeah, if you've just joined, if you're like, what the hell is this?
Wait, what the hell is all this?
Who do they think they are?
We do have a Linda rig, and we have a Bob rig. Although he's currently semi-transparent because we had to rebuild the rig. The idea here, actually, let's wind this up a little bit here so we can show a minimal bit of progress, which hasn't been a lot. When you got birthdays and Father's Day and stuff like that, you don't get as much done besides that. Let me get this all the way to the beginning, maybe. Click, 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 click. Well, I'm not getting any reactions at all on this thing. Oh, of course I picked a layer with 1,000 keyframes.
We are, to any of you who are new, we are here in Los Angeles. Yesterday was sunny and beautiful, and today it is again overcast because Father's Day. Wah, wah.
Yep, if you didn't do your grilling on Saturday, nothing for you.
Anyone else out here from in the LA area? Or yeah, I'm curious.
Yep. Okay, so real rough. This is still rough because again we're working off of a temp voice track, and we don't want to try and do like precise movements and timing on everything if we're just going to add an extra word or an emphasis or something like that. So just to play this as
honey, we're not gonna sell you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm
No, Gene. Shut us down.
So it's still very kind of blocky and rough or whatnot. It's like I said, it's still very rough. I'm playing with.
I love when he looks really mad.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to play with moments where because SpongeBob's face can do, he's very, very clay, stretchy all over the place. So I'm trying to play with ideas of his face shrinking or growing or his features really expanding out to emphasize different feelings. But yeah, so Georgie, you like the angry parts?
Oh, I love the angry parts.
Yeah.
But I like that in most cartoons. Angry cartoons are my release.
Well, so what, we were watching Close Enough again?
Somebody else the other day was like, so ticked that Close Enough was pulled.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a place to buy it. There's gotta be.
Well,
a box set, like the olden days.
I mean, people who are fans of animation over the decades, 1,000,001 things happen to your shows where you can only get them on VHS. You can only find them on a rare DVD that mixes it, or that one channel that decided to buy the rights and has it somewhere. Looney Tunes. I mean, even when Disney Plus came out, Disney Plus comes out, and you think, okay, so for someone like me, who there used to be on Sunday nights, The Wonderful World of Disney, and there would be all these episodes and mixtures of what?
Look at this! I think we can buy Close Enough on Amazon. That looks like streaming. That's Prime Video. Damn you!
Yep.
Wait. The complete season.
Yep.
It's still just streaming?
I think so.
God damn it!
Yep. So you're the one talking about things you can't say on TikTok.
Okay, well that.
So yeah, so
that's not the same as butthole.
but the thing that
messed up.
Well, let's go back to Disney Plus. You would think every old Donald Duck, every old Mickey Mouse. I mean, look, if it turns out that particular episode was blackface or something like that, then I can understand why that particular episode. But us Gen Xers who grew up with the older 40s and 50s.
You Gen Xer.
Me Gen Xers. Us in the royal sense, not necessarily including you in it.
I'm on the cusp, whatever.
You're on the cusp. But there used to be a there were all these old cartoons that were decades old. So something as simple as there's an episode where Donald Duck and Chip and Dale are going after each other because Donald's got an apple orchard, and of course the chipmunks are coming in and stealing all his apples. And there's even a little memorable part where it was this running gag because a lot of the old animation usually were based on or running similar to old vaudeville acts, because that was entertainment back then, where the vaudevillian Niagara Falls, slowly I turn, step by step, these running gags. People know things like Who's on First from Abbott and Costello or some of the other stuff. So there's these moments out of the blue in this episode of Donald and Chip and Dale where usually the chipmunks will go apple core, and Donald will go Baltimore.
Who's your friend?
Who's your friend? And he'll say me, and then on that cue he'll get hit with a face full of apple cores or whatever else or a thing of water, and it repeats I think 2 or 3 times in the cartoon. And you grow up as a kid and you hear that and you're like, oh, and Disney Plus says all of them are out, and you jump on and you look and you find whole sections that are gone. It's like, if Disney Plus isn't going to show old Donald Duck cartoons or Mickey Mouse cartoons, who on earth is? They're not going to sell that to Netflix or Amazon. And obviously you've all seen the same thing, where shows that you think will live, created by, they're on Max, or Amazon or whatever it is, that they'll just simply live in perpetuity. Or at the very least, if they're going to cancel the show, put it on Blu-ray, give it to a different service, sell the rights to Peacock or someone.
Because even if I buy it on Amazon for streaming, then that means it's still sitting out there in the digital world. They could still take it away. Yeah. Even if you bought it, right?
Well,
what's the fine print is my question.
Well, the fine print is ugly because there were examples with the Kindles where there was a book about 10 years ago. I don't know if it was like something like 1984 or what the book was, but it was something where Amazon decided to basically suck the books back off the Kindles. Now, regardless of how rare that actually is, that does kind of mean that your stuff isn't fully in your control. And here's how I can prove that even more so. So for the last 10 years or so, you could buy... so like if you went and bought a Blu-ray or a DVD, more often than not, you would say a free, download on iTunes a digital copy, or get redeem a digital copy that you could go to their website or eventually places like Vudu. So, being a big Star Wars fan, I've got a lot of the Star Wars films bought electrically. And bought... Electrically? Digitally. Naturally. So, imagine this. When Disney Plus brings out the original Star Wars trilogy, what no one knew that George Lucas had done to Disney before they started showing it on Disney Plus is that he made a few more changes to the original trilogy.
He kept messing with it. So, in infamous terms for nerd culture, it's all about, it breaks down to the Han, Solo, and Greedo scene, where they are shooting each other, who shot first, all that stuff. And then there's actually several versions of this, where Han clearly shot first in the original, then suddenly Greedo shoots first, then... Han shot first.
Yeah.
We all know.
Then I got a hair in my mouth that just won't come out. There we go. Ugh. Yeah. Then, of course, they try to make it more like a tie. Like Han just, and then they have this like weird digital thing where they digitally take Harrison Ford's head to like dodge out of the way of the shot that barely misses him from Greedo, which was never fired in the original one. But if you go to Disney Plus and you watch that scene now, or did when it first came to Disney Plus, there's one additional extra what the hell that is tossed on top of it by the name of...
I wasn't listening. I'm trying to monitor and moderate. So I was paying attention up until this part. I feel like...
There's a word.
This is how all those guys must have felt in school when they weren't paying attention.
There's a word that Greedo says before he fires. You know this word. We've said it a million times.
Yub.
Yeah, yes, he only speaks in Ewok. It's McClunky.
Oh my God, that's right. McClunky. But
Yep.
then also Han does the Michael Jackson. Hee hee.
Well, yeah,
But it's so horrible.
which I just talked about.
Oh, see, I didn't hear that.
You. Well, I know where she's at today. How are things on the screen, by the way?
Things are fine. Hello. We got a heart.
Thank you.
Hooray. Hello,
Yay.
Corbin. Corbin Dallas.
So
Forever and ever.
So this is where this meandering story is going. That okay, so they changed it again on
Yep.
Disney Plus.
Yep.
And you're thinking, well,
He can't mess with it anymore, can he?
well.
I just
I
picture
don't think so. I don't think so.
85-year-old Lucas waddling in and being like, I'm gonna mess with him, I'm gonna push
Yes.
him, bingy, boop, boop, boop. And
You're
like, come on, Mr. Lucas.
Yes,
back
there's
to your
back to your
playpen.
playpen.
I'm gonna add some more.
You just give him an editing bay, and he'll just sit there.
He thinks he's
And
changing
he thinks he's changing
I'm
things,
so
and Grandpa's
messed
still
up.
making it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so but the whole point of this long conversation is you think, well, good thing I already got my digital copy before they added this extra salt in the wounds of Greedo going McClanky before they shoot each other. But I went and I looked at it on my Voodoo copy, which I bought years before,
Yep.
off of a Blu-ray that doesn't have McClunky, and the episode on Voodoo now says McClunky.
So it's messed up. They're messing with your streaming stuff.
Yeah.
They are controlling it.
So yeah, they're not
I'm not
reaching
down for
in
that,
and saying
dude.
you don't own this anymore, but they edited the movie after I downloaded and owned it and added it to my digital library. Now, of course, the Blu-ray is still the Blu-ray, and for big fans of different films, before anything got
That's why
messed
I
with.
still have a VHS player, man.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
a DVD player.
Yep.
Wait, does our new PS5 have a DVD player?
Yes, that's one of the
Thank
reasons
God.
why we got it with the.
Yes.
That was my big birthday gift. Is I finally had enough money to for us to get the PS5,
And I helped.
and she helped. And but one of the things for us is that if you get the digital only version, famously one of the best things about having a PlayStation originally, because Sony won the high definition disc wars with Blu-ray. There was for all you kids who barely remember, there were all kinds of formats.
You got a YouTube viewer.
I got it. Yeah.
Hey there, YouTuber.
Hey, YouTube viewer.
Sorry, hello. Are you there?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Say hello if you want.
We'll say howdy to you. But yeah, so it's a crazy landscape. Where's my cursor? It's a crazy landscape for animators in particular, because you guys are hearing about the strikes going on for the Writers Guild, the Directors Guild, paid writers. Georgia is a member of SAG-AFTRA, so
Yep.
she's part of the acting union out here.
Yep.
But what you often don't hear about until you're in these negotiations or whatnot is how often animated show writers are not counted. They're part of an animators tag. Yeah, that was it. The Animators Guild. Is that what the
Probably. But whatever it is, it's BS, and they need to be folded into the WGA, and they should be getting equal rights because they are writing scripts.
Yep.
That's just redonkulous.
So there are all kinds of things where there's a bit of an asterisk on animating people as far as what rights they have as workers, even if they're working for the same network, where if it was a live action show, totally different rules. If it was for residuals and rights and what they can do to your stuff afterwards, it's a completely different Wild West situation if you're doing animation. And as fans of animators know, a lot of our shows have been vanishing or canceling on Netflix, on HBO Max, but
Doom and gloom. Here on
doom and
Father's
gloom.
Day edition.
Father's Day edition. Welcome to the fun that is doing the stuff.
All right, what's your favorite part about being a dad?
My favorite part about being a dad?
Yep,
Well, all right. That's a question from whom?
from me.
Oh, from you. Oh, well. My favorite part of being a dad, I think it's now this does not end up fortunately for me, it does not end up the weakness is that you can become a stage mom or a helicopter parent and be overly involved, or or a stage mom where you are vicariously, like, I had a failed career as such and such, but my kids will succeed and become the all-star baseball player or the multi-million-dollar actress. It's like,
Don't try to live vicariously through your children.
exactly.
Stop it.
But what I enjoyed the best were as you would watch your kids get involved with things like Little League, Scouts, choir. What was Annette's playing instruments, playing guitars, but
academic
decathlon. And you just have these opportunities to sit there with your kids, and we were scout leaders. We've done camping trips and hiking trips, and because of that whole mix of things being kind of mandatory, it kind of forces you, even if you don't really.
It forces you.
Yeah, you know. I mean, look, everyone has those mornings where that great hiking trip you're on, and then you wake up the day of, and you're like, oh God, do I really want to walk 15 miles?
You can't get those moments back.
Exactly. So we fortunately have had moments on a ship museum off in the harbor of Los Angeles near the Queen Mary. Moments where you're at such and such elevation, or you're out in the desert by Joshua Tree. Rocktober.
Yeah.
Because LA is a big old sprawling metropolis, and we're a desert essentially. Setting off fireworks or rockets. What do they call the model rockets?
No, I think what he's saying, folks, is the great thing about being a dad is your kids do all this weird stuff that enables you
to have fun with them.
To live vicariously through. Yes, to have fun with them, to set off rockets.
Yeah, but no.
For the children.
For the children.
For the children. We have a question, though, that did come in from someone. This is very important.
Yes.
First of all, yes, Corbin, who doesn't like Grogu? Grogu is amazing, but the question is, what are your favorite Star Wars characters? I do want to start by saying one of my favorites is the Sarlacc pit.
She's currently wearing the Sarlacc pit onesie.
This is not the Oh my God, I want that. Oh my God, if we gotta make that.
We have a we do have a photo of her posing next to the Sarlacc pit.
The Sarlacc pit onesie. That's great. And I'll just have this big angry open mouth, and I'll just come around.
Yeah, this would all
That's amazing.
That'd be fun.
You can jump in it.
You could like a flip down visor thing to have the beak.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Okay, so that's what's your favorite Star Wars character? And don't just say Yoda.
No. Yoda was never a favorite of mine as much as
Yoda's awesome.
Yoda's awesome, but let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like duh. It has
Chewie is the best.
It is historically for me been C-3PO. Because what's funny? Here's what's funny though is that
I always get them mixed up. Which one's which?
Well, I'll go grab.
I do every time. I'm like R2D2. That's the little squat one, and then C-3PO is the tall guy.
Yeah.
Right there we go.
So,
I do good.
Yep. So big surprise. Being a Star Wars fan, I've got a ton of things on the shelves behind. One of these days, we'll do the tour of the bric-a-brac and crazy swag.
Wait, I got
no.
Yay!
What are you grabbing?
Star Wars stuff. I'm proud of this find.
She is fine.
So
she's fine.
So cool.
She likes her stuff.
So here's the thing: if you do go to Disney, you gotta keep your eyes peeled. This was just it had a little strap on it, and they were serving popcorn in it, which to me is sacrilege, whatever. But I don't want to break it. Anyway, somehow you lift up the hatch.
I think it's the top. I think the top is where you actually got the popcorn out of it.
Well, yeah, but which way do you... Some way to get
it. Some of your breaks.
I don't want to break it, but the point is you could lift it up. There was popcorn in his hatch.
Here we go.
But look at the detail. Look at that's what he just did. It's got moving... Look, he can do a little arabesque. Isn't that great? Arabesque. He's kind of like if he's taking a poo and he's needing to cover up his mess. Look at that. And then look at these little things in front. These move. Yep. What a great freaking toy. And it was only I think it was a $25 popcorn container, but
everything at Disneyland can be easily $20
This
more.
is amazing.
Yep. And it's a good size. You normally, the only time you can find a model of an AT-AT is...
We've got to animate this guy.
Do stop motion.
Look at him. Oh my God.
You're hitting that's
whoops.
delicate.
Well, I bought it.
I bought it for you so I could break it too.
Stop in the name of Sith.
Nice.
Before you break my pith. Got a little rump too.
Yep. Yes,
Anyways,
he does. But yeah,
Maybe there's things.
It's hard to get snow walkers that aren't either ungodly expensive for anything larger than the palm of your hand. What you got? What's happening?
Someone was noticing on your C-3PO it even had the silver leg.
Yes.
Very impressed.
Yes.
The detail. But
And
this is what we do when we go to Target. The first place we go to in Target is the toy section to see what all they have.
Or
the whole Jurassic Park dinosaur theme they have, those are great. And I still would like some of them for collectibles. But
for Jurassic Park?
Yes. They're really cool toys.
I'm not really a fan of the Funko Pops, but my daughter got me this for either birthday or Father's Day. Mm-hmm. I think this was a Father's Day last year thing. Was a, and I think Georgia, did you got me on? Was it Father's Day? Whatever it was, the Tauntaun and the little AT-AT, the Lego ones.
Yes, I got you. Those.
So I'm when it comes to Star Wars, we've got stuff strewn all over the place. We have. Let me see if I can. We have. This Lego Tauntaun. The price range of these toys, though, for a kid who grew up back when Lego was just Legos, it is a little insane how something this tiny can be like a $20 purchase.
Yeah, come on.
It's molded plastic. There's a lot of R&D, and I know to a degree that someone said that Lego was actually kind of saved by these, that the company, turned into what it is today in part because of these specialized things. But come on.
Michael is asking if we've ever watched Craig of the Creek, and it's like,
yes.
Of course. Are you a Craig of the Creek fan?
Craig of the Creek.
Love that.
Yes.
I mean, for me, because I grew up, the first house that I lived in Georgia had this huge backyard that just went on, and like half of it had woods, and half of it had like these weird berry bushes. Like it was like different sections of the backyard meant different areas of my realm. And so when you grow up playing in your backyard all the time, when I see something like Craig of the Creek, it just warms the cockles of my heart, because it's like, yeah, that's it. That's make-believe. And yes, everything is that serious. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yep, Ed, and Eddie. But of course, you're more of an Ed, and Eddie fan than I am, I think. You know more about them.
Well, right? I did watch a lot of it once upon a time, because when the kids were younger, that was what was on Cartoon Network, was Ed, and Eddie. And yeah, we've got, and not to leave anyone out, we've got Rick and Morty props. Georgia got me this lovely TARDIS, which does all the sounds, but it's a Bluetooth speaker.
Cool. Yeah.
This thing was definitely worth it, because the thing there are things that you tell yourself as a fan, hey, if I ever decide I'm going to get a Snow Walker, or I'm going to get a TARDIS, or I'm going to get this stuff, you want it to do the sounds. I mean, I think part of the...
We should be LARPing.
We should be LARPing. We are LARPing. like Star Wars fans, how many Star Wars fans got a lightsaber, whether it's a plastic thing at Target or went to Disney World or whatever it was, got it, and it doesn't quite do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And you go like, well, there went... either anything from $20 to $200, how expensive a lightsaber can get. Yeah. You want it has to do the sound. So when you find them, you grab them and you run for the cash register for them.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna put this stuff back. How many people we got in the room now?
We got 8. Holy cow. 9. All right. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Anyone who's just come in, drop a note. Where are you at right now today? We've got
where you
from all
from?
over coming in, and we love it. Oh, and we got a question. First of all, yes, R.I.P. El Gato and Cooter. Ed, and Eddie was a good show. The question from Leap Meep. Love that name. Leap Meep. Who is your favorite doctor? That is a question for him. I came into Doctor stuff.
Doctor Who? Well, you've got actually a connection to Doctor Who that I've never had.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later.
We can talk
about your favorite. And yes, all Clarence, right. I love Clarence.
Oh, we love Clarence.
That's a big Clarence.
I got quick pause for Clarence. I actually met Sean, who plays Jeff. He's better known for most people as from the Goldbergs.
Yep.
But he plays Jeff in Clarence. And I had a moment on a red carpet to actually talk with him about that, because our whole family just adores the show and Jeff. And it was nice to tell him how when season 3 suddenly came out that we were overwhelmed, but still we were still sad that the show eventually got canceled. And he was like that he was feeling that He was hoping that they were trying to do something special. They were always hoping that they could get more seasons. They at least were glad for all the experimentation because Clarence, a great thing about these shows that are definitely aimed at the kids, but the deeper themes of family relationships, acceptance, positivity, even,
just being not, and like, just like the one where Clarence just is like, I need a day to myself.
Yes.
He's like, when is a friend a friend? And then he just sits there and like plays with his carpet and just like is messing around and he's like,
Yep.
And like, I feel like the show also captures the dirtiness of humans, like the snot running down your nose or just digging in the mud or whatever. Like I loved it. And the music. Loved the music and the songs on that show. Love, 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 love.
Saying a quick hi to Ty. He is our returning person from a previous YouTube live stream. So, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, regardless
so
of
back to the doctor question.
But doctor question.
So we don't lose the doctor question for leap, meep.
It's obviously, for me, as a kid, born in 1970, for me, it's Tom Baker. Tom Baker and his time as the Doctor in the late 70s is when a lot of Americans were even introduced to this crazy show that had been going on already by then 10, 15 years. So it would be shown usually, because this is before cable was widespread, let alone, things like BBC America.
Yeah.
So for us to get if you wanted to watch British TV shows like Doctor Who, you were watching on your PBS station. So PBS out of Minneapolis, late at night, like at 10:30 at night, they'd be showing the half-hour episode of Tom Baker's Doctor Who, and I was just hooked. Despite the low budget, despite sometimes the costumes where you could almost see the person inside of it or whatever it was.
It took me, like when I was little, so it would always it would come on after X-Files, because it was always The Simpsons, then X-Files, and then it would go, then I'd hear this dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. And I'm like, for me as a kid, I was like, that music is on a minor key and it sounds scary. I'm scared, and I'm like, nope, this is weird and nice. So I never, and my parents weren't into it, so I like never caught on to it. And then I met Tom, and he was like, we're watching this, and I'm going,
Yep.
And then I was hooked. I did. So who's the fish sticks and custard guy?
That is Smith. That's Matt Smith.
I like him,
who played the 11th Doctor.
And I like David Tennant. But it's also about who their companion is, and so like that's a thing for me. Is who is their person?
Yep. All the big controversies of who is
I like
this.
William Hurt. Does he count?
He's the War Doctor. So it's John Hurt.
John Hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Not William Hurt. What am I? I do good.
Now I'm trying to think if William Hurt ever even had a cameo, because it's amazing over because, like, for example, the enemy of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Donovan, who eventually, dies drinking the wrong cup of the Holy Grail. He during the Tom Baker era was a villain across a whole section of one of the seasons. So, and big surprise, tons of British actors better known for other things like Time Bandits or whatnot were at one point a companion, a villain, someone buried in makeup, just like Star Trek, just like Star Wars. Once you start, someone was just commenting now that Oscar Isaac Oscar Isaac is now, if you look at his roles, minor and big, he is one of those people now that has been, tripping through so many different fantasy and sci-fi franchises, including now Into the Spider-Verse. So it's everything.
Have any of you guys seen the new Spider-Verse? Anybody here, and thoughts on it? Because we just saw it. We have thoughts. For the most part, loved it. But I don't want to give any spoilers or anything.
Yeah,
it's
still very new in the theaters, so we'll avoid anything deep.
Get this, dude. So Michael just mentioned he has met the guy who made the Kim Possible theme song. He was my 12th grade after-school teacher.
Wow.
That is so cool.
Wow,
I love that. Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
Yep. We've... even with my education being in far-flung Minnesota, compared to LA or New York, one of our teachers had a brief role in one of those iconic episodes of the original Star Trek speech communications professor by then. And because the Coen brothers, although they moved to New York, but they're originally from Minnesota. So the Coen brothers, their mom was an art teacher at my college. And I don't think I ever had a class directly with her, but she would say things to her students like moments in Barton Fink that were kind of like little Easter egg things for mom, something that she would appreciate on top of, everything else that they were doing. Mm-hmm. Let's see, I'm trying to get to the next sequence here just to kind of show a little bit of the process here. So we're going to remove the better looking Bob rig and Linda rig. And we're going to put our white layer back on.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like sometimes just enjoy sitting and watching him draw, which sounds creepy. I'm sitting here like...
So it's very hard.
Really cool.
I'm sure it's very small on your phones or on your iPads even. But so what I have at the top here is just little notes to myself. You can create layers that are just simply comments that let you know where you're at. And
You are a shooting star.
you are, yeah, you write little affirmations. Whoop, you're catching your...
You can do it.
Yeah.
You're such a dad. Don't knock over your coffee.
I'm not worried about the coffee. I'm worried, like the coffee, yeah. Although the mug would be tough to replace, the iPad would be a little more of an expensive replacement.
Yeah.
So my notes right now are just simply telling me where the edit points are. So it's a different shot, a different scene. Now they may have to change as shots get altered, but at least I've got that on my top layer. The next layer down is just the audio track of these scenes, so I can hear what's going on, so I can find moments of emphasis and timing. But let's actually, if you want to engage in talking and sharing with them,
No.
I will focus for a moment on
good.
actual drawing.
All right, he's going to draw some, and I'm going to talk some. Spider-Verse, your thoughts. I'm making a poll.
A poll, yay!
Gonna see it. Saw it already.
All
Good
right.
stuff.
So I'm going to make a blank keyframe here,
And
and they go away.
oh,
But you bring on onion skinning. That shows what the previous frame looked like, so that you've got a reference. So you make sure that they're still drawn the same way, even if their arms or head or whatever it is moving. Now we finally bring out the stylus, and I will start sketching.
he's sketching.
I'm sketching.
Where's everybody from? Elle says, "Oh dear God." I don't know what that's about, but I agree. And Michael, you also met the guy who directed Zack and Cody. Right on.
Nice.
If I were into that, I would be very impressed. But I feel like
So
that's a live action.
Well, let's just ask, are we talking early days Zack and Cody, or are we talking like, what was it called? And that wasn't called Cruise Life. It was called I know, when they took the whole show and they decided, I think in the final seasons to
If it was a cartoon, I could relate.
because it was The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. My kids were huge fans of this. So it was Sweet Life of Zack and Cody when it was in a hotel.
Was this the Saved by the Bell of its time, or what?
Well, it may have been. It was a Disney show. There was the Nickelodeon live action shows at that time, like iCarly, the original iCarly. And then on Disney XD, there would be shows like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Eventually, Bella Thorne and Zendaya did...
Zendaya.
I think it's Zendaya. I'm trying to remember because I've met her a few times. I met both of them because back at the height of their show, before Zendaya became friggin' Zendaya, she was just... It is Zendaya?
I don't know.
I think it's Zendaya, but I
Thoughts? Shake It Up. That's it. Shake It Up.
Shake It Up, yes. So shows like Shake It Up, and then on Nickelodeon also there was Absolutely Fabulous. Wait, that's
Ab Fab.
Ab Fab.
Okay, you're supposed to be drawing.
I'm supposed to be drawing.
I'm supposed to be talking.
All right, then how many of those shows do you remember?
Well, I remember all of them, and I remember not watching any of them.
Because the show I'm trying to talk about is...
he had kids, so there was a reason for him to be watching...
It was the show with shoot, I can't remember her name, but Ariana Grande was the side character that exploded out of that one.
We're not even going there.
Ariana Grande.
Does anyone read "I'm Glad My Mother's Dead" by Jeanette McCurdy?
Yep,
it's
from iCarly. Yep.
Awesome. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Ariana Grande, go read Jeanette McCurdy's book. That's all I'm saying. So Leap Meep does have a good actual question. Thank you, Leap Meep. Do you prefer frame by frame or puppets in animation? I like frame by frame, but I've seen some impressive rigs.
Okay, well, it's a lengthy question. It's hard not to be old school and just say, frame by frame, cell animation, pencil sketches, all that stuff. It's something that is very difficult to replicate. Having said that, also, as I am, my entire career has been working under tight deadlines from big name clients that they have their own agendas, good, bad, and ugly. And the other problem is that you have to deal with the ability of your clients to change stuff. And that means that whether it's just simply being able to undo a layer, go in digitally, rigs are, I have not gone into Toon Boom Studio. Like there are shows that are all Toon Boom shows. I want to say Archer is actually an Adobe Animate show, but Rick and Morty is a Toon Boom show, and it's all rigged. Except for moments when you can clearly see they've gone into full cell-by-cell animation when they Cronenberg, the whole world,
right.
All those mutations of people spontaneously growing mantis things and stuff like that. All that is done hand done digitally. I wanted, it was funny. I think Bob's Burgers has to be rigged. It just has enough that suggests that's probably a rigged show. And then SpongeBob, at least in the early days, had, you actually can go and there was a fan who came on here who actually collects some of the old original backgrounds and buys them and adds them to his collection.
Yep.
So yeah, I would, and again, I'm sitting here. I am the only person who can draw this stuff out, and I've got September 3rd to belt all of this out. Mm-hmm. So if we're getting into middle of August and everything is still looking like this, I'm in a whole world of late nights and general pain. I love the freedom you get of just sketching. I'm old school. I was drawing before there were tablets and Photoshop and Illustrator and computers and stuff like that. So I'm used to...
He drew on stone tablets.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. She scraped through my old college portfolio and stuff like that. And
when he started, he had to use spit. And then he graduated.
We didn't have paint. We would have to drip blood in and spit so they could water it down and get a fine. When you worked wet, the reason why they called painting back then working wet or working dry was how much blood. Well, watercolor is you have wet brushes and dry brush work and stuff like that.
I am a SMR. No dry brush on rock. No.
All right. So while you talk and I stop talking.
Michael says, "What's a typewriter?"
We just had that talk, you and me.
That's right. Well, technically, every time y'all have to type shit in on your phones, you're really using a typewriter, just without the
ribbon and
all the good tactile stuff.
Yeah. Back when you had to push into those keys.
I feel sorry for you guys, man. You just don't get any of the fun. Yeah, no. Too bad. It's all right. What else?
Yeah,
it's
people.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
And to be on here, a father or have a father. We had someone earlier who has stepdad. So I don't know, but they didn't get to celebrate today. They celebrated yesterday. So it's interesting. It's different unspoken rules.
My brushes are a little big, so I'm just trying to get a size that I'm happy with here. All right, gotta remind myself where I'm at.
For anyone who's just joining, so this is a fan-made animation that he is animating. We co-wrote the script together, and we are going to co-voice the show, and then we are also going to be co-creating all of the music for it. We both play instruments, and he loves to, mix and design and all of that. So we're putting all this together as a passion project because we are such big fans of SpongeBob and Bob's Burgers. If you are just joining here, if you are Team Sponge or are you Team Bob Burger? I say Bob Burger just like Teddy does. You're Bob Burger.
Bob Burger.
You're Bob Burger. Bob Burger. Yep, Michael says there's a new SpongeBob movie coming out in 2025. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, so, and for anyone curious, we know people who are on the fringes of and or involved with both of those cartoons, so, we're really excited to share this with them. I think they're going to get a kick out of it. And, again, I think it just sort of this stuff just comes to us randomly. I mean, we have a whole jar of ideas that we keep running. When we come up with something, we'll jot it down on a piece of paper, or we'll throw it up in your final draft, and we'll just quick sketch out an idea,
Yep.
a little mini script, and then we'll save it and do something with it down the road. But that's kind of just, I highly recommend that to anyone who's watching. Keep a bowl nearby, a fish bowl. That's what I have over there, actually. And just when you have an idea, you get a little Post-it note right next to it. Just scribble it down, fold it up, toss it in the bowl, and then, once a week or once a month or whatever, pull one idea out and go, what is this? And then play with it and see if you can make something. It's a great way to be spontaneously creative and keep your ideas rolling. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have her back up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have... There's, in theater terms and in cartooning terms, there's what they call upstage and downstage.
Yep.
And there's also a concept in animation that talks about silhouettes. The idea is that if you took this whole shot and just made it a silhouette of the character, all in shadow, can you, A, get a sense of who that is? And part of what makes Mickey Mouse, SpongeBob so recognizable is paying attention to that outline of the character. And then the other thing is, can you get a sense of emotion, of action, of what's going on here? So as you can see, earlier in this shot, they're both standing here. He's doing a very Bob Belcher, inward kind of oh my God, all that kind of stuff. But as Linda is talking here now, I'm going to get her in her usual, because both Sandy and Linda are very much more animated characters as far as the emotion on their sleeve. Not that Bob does. Bob Belcher rarely does. We know SpongeBob himself will obviously have, his emotions are very much on his sleeve, sometimes literally. But I'm going to have Sandy's arm come up, her upstage arm, so when she emphasizes that she's come up with a good idea,
Ooh, I like
that she's gonna kind of indicate herself. So she's gonna come up and just kind of do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got a good idea.
Now, what's interesting, so people have asked about the voices, and there are many different ways that we could approach this. What we decided was, first of all, you got to think about, is it easier to do SpongeBob voices, or is it easier to do Bob's Burger voices? And Bob's Burger voices, while Linda definitely has a lot of different modulation, she's super hard to do anyway, but Bob is just pretty much John Benjamin,
yep.
Right? And then Louise is pretty much just Kristen Shaw. It's just, that's their voice naturally, and they are much more realistic, and they're, at least for us two, they are more difficult to emulate. Now, I know voice actors who, man, they can emulate anything. They're incredible. They are incredible. We are not there yet, but we decided, okay, we can do pretty good Sandy, a pretty good SpongeBob, a pretty good Squidward. Those are a little bit easier for us to emulate. So we're doing that. But then there are a couple of moments where we're going to slip into other things. Like for Gale, it is going to be Gale. It's not going to be Pearl, right? Because we're doing Gale and Pearl are going to be the same character.
Yep.
And then there is going to be a moment where Slinda is going to sing, and when the Sandy Linda sings, it's definitely going to be a lot more Linda-esque than Sandy-esque. So trying to find that balance of when you get from that Sandy and then it kind of gets into Linda. Yeah. Just where are we going to move between those two voices to get the right flavor for the song? So... Ooh, someone's asking if we watched Big City Green. Oh, yeah.
Yep, a little, we watched some of that.
Yeah.
I done flung my stylus.
That's funny. He's got a Big City Green tattoo of Tilly Green holding the guitar from Black Sabbath. That's hardcore, man.
Yep.
Didn't your mom name one of the dogs Black Sabbath?
Well, yes. But obviously that's after the rock group with Ozzy Osbourne.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, what's funny is that you grow up as a kid and you just, the natural place that you just put your parents is at their tastes, their likes and dislikes are like a little more fuddy-duddy, because you're listening to this cool stuff now, like new age bands or Duran Duran or Pet Shop Boys or punk rock, but then your brain, when you become an adult and you go, wait a second, my mom named one of our dogs. If you've ever seen the movie Best in Show, that's my childhood. Dog shows and dog training and puppies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all that fun with
Springer Spaniels,
English
right?
Springer Spaniels, yes. But so when you register a dog because of pedigree and are they a champion? Did they win a bunch of awards? All those things that make puppies,
White people with nothing better to do.
Yeah.
That's mean. I love your
that's
parents.
mean.
His parents are really nice. But I'm not a fan of dog breeding. There's plenty of mutts that need homes.
Yes, but for those who
Adopt, don't shop.
But for those who just happen to, whether it's horses or whatever it is, they have to have those extra steps of, okay, who are this person's, parents, were they, it's...
So do they like... Well, young Billingsley, sire of the Loggy Shudder.
There's two names that dogs typically will get if they're registered. There can be the name you just simply call them. So in this case, Black Sabbath's name was just Sunday, and I have no idea if that was something like me and my brother said, we named this dog Sunday. Mm-hmm. But there's a registered American Kennel Club name, which is usually the name of the kennel. So in this case, Acades Black Sabbath. So we had
that's a great stage name. Acades Black Sabbath.
Acades. So Acades is Greek for loyal friend. And that shows my dad's educated side, his college,
Loyal friend Black Sabbath.
Loyal friend Black Sabbath.
That's awesome.
But I remember Bronco, his registered name was Acades Fife and Drum because the bicentennial was 1976. It was all about patriotic stuff, so they registered Fife and Drum based off of an old painting.
I just want the dog to poop on a flag.
But you have those moments where you just accept that as a kid. It's like, okay, you're named Black Sabbath. You're named Fife and Drum. But then one day you go, wait a second, Black Sabbath? Wait, that's like... like who did the hard, rock and roll kind of stuff, and you suddenly realize there are sides of your parents that you don't necessarily know that you were too young or it was before you were born and all that other stuff.
You don't want to dig under the surface with my folks. You don't get charming things like Black Sabbath.
All right.
No.
So I am completely inconsistent when I draw Sandy's bubble, and that's fine because this is just but at least I'll get it generally into the right size. This would be one of those moments where the rigging actually does kind of help out because, her helmet is a perfect circle. And trying to just draw a perfect circle and be consistent from frame to frame.
Well, I've got one of those thingies that you could stick it on there.
Just stick it into the glass and just like...
What's that called? A protractor? No, it's
a radius.
Radius.
Or a compass. I'm sorry, it's a compass on which you would draw the circumference and the radius and all that stuff.
Oh, someone's asking about Detroit, Michigan's Alice Cooper and Greta Van Fleet.
Oh my goodness. I am a Greta Van Fleet fan, though I haven't listened in a while.
Isn't Greta Van Fleet the one that basically just ripped Zeppelin?
Well, that's what the biggest comment was, that he sounds like Robert Plant when he sings.
Their songs stole, yeah.
Right.
But what's hilarious is, of course, Led Zeppelin stole so much. I think they were taken to court over some of it.
Yep, and they typically win. But
they're from the blues, stole from everything. And when we say steal, we're talking like, not just like, oh, we were inspired by it. It's like, no, full on just stealing. But whatever. But yeah, Greta Van Fleet's fun. They're very fun. We actually play them on Rocksmith. I don't know if any of you guys have the game Rocksmith, but it is it's not band, whatever the hell that Rock Band bullshit was, where you have to press buttons on a piece of plastic.
Get what back in the days of Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Bullshit. It's like, if you're gonna do this, play a real guitar, and you actually learn guitar, and still get to play cool songs and get points and all the crap that makes it like a video game. So yeah, Rocksmith is awesome, and you can do Greta Van Fleet.
Yep.
On it.
There are a lot of stuff from their first album is out there. Yes.
We have a strange question from Leap Meep. Love it, Leap Meep.
Yep.
Strange question. Favorite Disney villain's demise? Personally, I thought Facilier had the most character. Oh. That's a deep... These are great questions, Leap Meep.
Yep.
I mean, if you're asking about it from an artist perspective, that's on you, Tom. I mean, for me, we all speak to what hit us at the time we were growing up. So, like, for me, Aladdin, when Jasmine kisses the villain to distract him, holy crap, that, like, everyone was like, wow! Like, oh my god. Like, can you imagine how cool would it be if the Little Mermaid made out with Ursula to distract her? That'd be freaking rad. Which I haven't seen the Mermaid live action one. I can't wait. I am looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, so that was definitely, I love that. But I do also love, we're gonna take it back, the Rescuers. Rescuers Down Under, or Rescuers? The Rescuers, when that evil, what was she, the foster mother, and she's got red hair. She was very much like Carol Burnett in Annie, funny enough. But she's trying to make that little girl go down the well to get that gem or something. Yeah. She had a terrible demise. I liked that. That was great. What is yours? Leap me. We would love to hear. So you said Facilier, which I'm not familiar with what that is, Facilier. Who is that, etc. Please explain, because for some reason I am not catching on. I am not cool enough. Oh my god, hi, so wait, Ali Savido? Did I say it right? Alisa Savido? Hi! Love it. Oh, here we go. Facilier was the witch doctor from Princess and the Frog. There we go. I have not seen Princess and the Frog yet. I am a terrible person. Oh my god. I hear it is fabulous, and I am so happy they are going to read. So I'm really looking forward to that. So Alyssa Savido is asking, what inspired you to create this project?
Oh, that's a lot of...
What inspired us.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
A lot of this, a lot of our origin stories of this comes simply down to watching something, and you mentally, like, you make a joke in the moment, or you're singing something, you realize it's got a connection. So I want to say, we
watch both cartoons all the time. We watch both cartoons on repeat, and it's like you're watching one, you flip over to another, and you're like, oh, SpongeBob. I like Bob's Burgers. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't these families kind of similar? So that's kind of how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Or did the poll end?
The poll ended. I think it was set for 5 minutes, but it says 100% was Spider-Verse. Your thoughts? Gonna see it.
Yeah. Okay.
So no one says saw it already good, saw it already nope.
Okay.
So we can start it again, but
yeah, why not? But make it for longer.
Yeah. So let's. How do we edit the settings?
Maybe I can do it.
I got it. We want to do it for, let's see, it's already 11:17, so we're only going to go...
for half an hour.
Half an hour?
Yeah.
All right. Start. The poll is under review. All right.
Nice.
There we go.
Yep.
Hello. What was the question again?
What inspired us to do this project?
Yeah, so a lot of it just... Some of the inspirational stuff I've seen from other animators, primarily on YouTube, have been these things where they just kind of do either... So Kaz Van Pol will do recaps. The ultimate recap of the SpongeBob movie. Yeah. And he will, for 6 minutes, do a very hilarious, sometimes meme-ridden, goofball but adult take on a movie, a franchise. There was someone who famously took Bob's Burgers and Archer and did a blend episode. Yeah. There's someone who did an anime version of SpongeBob, so you see these things and your brain goes, boy, what would be, if I were going to do a mashup, what would it be? And we've got a few in the kiln here on the iPad.
No spoilers.
Yes.
But you've been looking for something to draw. I mean, I'm interjecting.
Yeah, go for it.
Which I do a lot. So... Tom started as an artist, right, as a kid, and then, he's studied journalism. He's produced his own sketch comedy show in college, and he's done acting, and he's done all these different things, and then he ended up working in graphic design here in Los Angeles, and it's a great, steady gig, but he had been doing photography for a while, and he's done red carpet photography. Pretty much any star up until 5 years ago anybody knew coming in, but almost every celebrity you can think of, Tom had probably shot them. Yep. He's got a famous set of photographs when Kristen Stewart was just hitting it big with the
this
Twilight. It was before.
Yeah, well, actually, this is the last. That was the last Twilight. It was Breaking Dawn.
Okay,
but
whatever.
still,
She was still relatively new on the scene. And she was in her I'm not gonna smile phase. If you guys remember, a lot of people would put up a meme of her and the grumpy cat photo next to each other, and she just would not smile. And so Tom was shooting on the red carpet. She walks by and she's posing and she's not smiling. And Tom put on this hat he has.
Yeah, because it was like November and it was cold anyway.
And it's just this dorky little frog hat, and he just kept looking at her. And you can see from photo to photo to photo that he got of her, and she's looking right at him, and she's like frowning, and then a little smile, and then she's smirking, and she's like hee hee hee, because she couldn't help herself.
Yep.
It's so cool. But anyway, so then the photography kind of dried up, and he's like, well, what do I want to do now?
Yeah, pandemic hit. And
Yep. And he missed, so he started drawing again. I remember that. It was so cool.
Yep.
I'm like, I need, hey. There we go. I'll lean here. There we go. Hi. Because don't have an ego. So, so then I remember, I think one of your first sketches was like some really awesome hot comic book chick. He's big into comics. And it looked really cool. And then he like was working on a bird or a toucan or something. And so he just started messing around. And look, here's the thing with his messing, he'd be like, this isn't good. And I'm looking at it like, psst, dude, like I can pick up a lot of different talents, but art is definitely one of the most challenging for me, and I am in awe of artists who are like, I'm just gonna sketch a landscape, bloobity blue, and like, can make faces and drawings. I love it. So I was impressed. So then, I'm starting to kind of nourish the little flower. I'm like, let's try a little cartoon here or a little thing there, and he's coming up with ideas. And if you go to Tom's, if you scroll down, I think you'll see a couple of your older ones, like he did a Top Gun parody,
Yep.
and he did a Heidi parody, and they're really funny. But then it was like, what's the project? And I think that this project is just like, I don't know, it's opening so many doors.
Yeah, it was just stating
creativity.
We've actually been working on this in some form in the very like early sketching stages, or me just simply painting backgrounds and going, okay, we need what is the restaurant going to look like? So I start painting it in Procreate primarily, because you could just sit on your iPad and just paint and sketch away. Then but it really turned into the we've come out of the pandemic, quote unquote, and
it's still going.
you just have you say, okay, let's actually make one of these happen. Instead of it just being a thing I'm sketching off to the side, let's actually set up a timeline and a deadline and go, okay, let's see. And this was late December, because we did the temp track then. We recorded we've got a little vocal booth that used to be a dark room with the previous house owners or whatever. And we did the whole thing just to see if we actually did we have something here based off the script that we wrote and all that stuff. Yep. Turns out, yes. So we announced it to you guys on TikTok back on January 5th, and it's just been this growing insanity since then. Yeah. And it's been taking off a little bit on YouTube as well.
Well, you never know what's going to take off. And the good thing for this is that we knew that we were into it, and so we were going to get it done whether or not it took off for the fans. And that's kind of, I would say that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten when you're creating your content, whatever it is. I mean, it's nice to have the likes. It's always nice to have the likes. But if you don't get the likes, if you love your stuff, if you're into your stuff, keep making it, just keep doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's fun. It should be fun, because let me tell you, there's plenty of stuff out there that's not fun.
Yeah. And that's ultimately part of it for all of you who have your own TikTok channels, your YouTube channels, your in your reels on Insta, all that stuff. Whether you're doing it just because it's something you like to do and you're not looking to get 1 million fans from it, you're not looking to get $1 million from it, we highly recommend that instead of chasing algorithms, you just work on stuff that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because if this turned out to be something that, well, we simply thought we were going to get likes and views and diamonds and streaming AdSense, stuff like that.
Well, some people, that's their focus, and good on them. I mean, I think that there are people who they take it seriously. It's a business, and that's awesome. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. But if it causes you to feel stressed and resentful, then I would say that's a time to stop and question it. Because it's like we already have enough stress and going on in our lives, playing adult. So this for us is something that really hits our happy spot.
Yep. And my recommendation on top of it was just to, if this was something that someone assigned us to do and we really weren't into it, we would now be technically 6 months into it, if we count January as the big announcement,
Yeah.
we'd probably be at a place right now where it's like, oh my, and every freelance artist has had that, or a company artist, where you start to disassociate with it because maybe your original ideas have been discarded. Maybe there's too many notes. Maybe it's too many late nights and you're eating off and your scheduling is off and you're not having fun anymore.
Yeah, or you just have ADHD and the minute someone tells you have to do it, you're like, that's it, I'm not doing it.
Ha!
Definitely. I deal with that, man. I'm super creative. I come up with new things, and then like someone's like, "You need to monetize. You need," and I'm like, "Oh, I need to, huh? I'll show you."
I'll show them. It's like we joke sometimes about Rick Sanchez when he in the episode against the Needful Things guy, does the way he put it. It's like
I felt so seen when Rick was like, "Okay, I'm bored."
Yep.
And just burns it all down.
Yep.
I was like, "Yes." Okay, Leap Meep says, I think one of the most important things in art is passion, breathing life into a creation. It's easy to tell when something was created without it. I agree.
Yep.
I agree. And listen, this is something where, like, when people say, oh, Steven Spielberg sold out, or, oh, Matt Damon or The Rock are now irrelevant, and it's like, you look at how many things they've made. Again, is it that they sold out, or is it that if you're making content, if you are creating things, not everything can be a winner? I don't know, maybe Daniel Day-Lewis pulls it off because that dude does one thing every 5 years and then goes back into his hermit hut, wherever the hell he is. Now he's retired, for God's sake. But if you're someone who's working all the time, some of your stuff's gonna be a dud. Nick Cage had bills to pay, for God's sake. But look at him now, my God. The stuff he's doing right now. I love the stuff he's doing. I haven't seen Renfield yet. I can't wait. The one where he was playing himself with Pedro Pascal, that was freaking awesome. I loved it. So, there's that too. I mean, and for me, I was a huge rock fan when he first came out, and now I'm like, I've seen too much of him, and I feel like that's not the rock. I mean, he's doing him, whatever, he's playing himself, whatever, he seems very happy with what he's doing, so good on him. I'm somebody where, when it gets oversaturated, I get a little, I'm like, I'd like to see a little less, and then, come back later, but I feel that way about everything. If all the billboards are saying you need to listen to this music star, I'm like, stop telling me what to do. I'll make my own choices. It's silly. Ramble.
Nope. I'm doing too much of a lean here. Let's do a little more subtle lean.
Yeah, Michael, everything that you're listing, just assume, yes, we have probably seen it. He says he's going to get a Francine Smith tattoo from American Dad next month. Okay, you do you, man. I'm more of a Family Guy fan, personally. I never could quite get into Cleveland or American Dad, but I have watched the episodes because, I think Seth MacFarlane, if you guys don't know about this dude, he can sing like a canary, and he actually trained professionally under some of the great singer-songwriters of our time, and he's incredible. That dude, the stuff he gets done, mind-blowing. Yeah. I haven't gotten a tattoo yet. I keep wanting to, but then I'm like, meh, because it's there forever and ever. And just, I was a ballet dancer for so many years, and as a dancer, so much of your skin is exposed. And back in the day, especially for ballet in the Midwest and even in New York, it was just frowned upon to have tattoos. I think that a lot of that has changed now. Yeah. Yep, Leap Meep. Seth has an amazing vocal range. I know, right? Alright, you know what, you?
What, me?
Yeah, you.
And we're
I'm just this random voice in the background. You lean over and draw.
I lean over and draw.
There. Hi. I'll just be back here. There we go. How's everyone doing? If you're just coming on the show, tell us where you're from. What are you doing for Father's Day? Are you doing anything for Father's Day? Michael, as far as Insidious Chapter 5 and Scream 7. Scream, it's amazing, just so you're clear, but I've seen it, and but I'm not like a Scream fan, but Insidious, I am a big Insidious fan, and I am very much looking to Insidious Chapter 5. That, when the first Insidious came out, That one absolutely scared me. I love horror. Actually, it's funny. Like, I couldn't watch or do anything horror related as a kid. A, because my parents wouldn't let me, but B, I have such a strong imagination, especially as a kid. A piece of sad music with a dark theme would come on the radio, and I'd be like scared, and have nightmares. So now that I'm older, I try to watch as much horror as possible. I think it's amazing, an amazing genre. I read a lot of it. And when Insidious came out, I'm somebody who very much does believe in the possibility of spectral, what do you call that? Spectral travel. I know I'm
astral projection.
Astral projection. Thank you.
Yep.
There we go. I think that could possibly be a thing. It's believable enough for me. So a movie about it, hell yeah, terrifying. Haven't seen Boogeyman yet. No spoilers, please. I'm looking forward to that. But I did just finish reading Stephen King's Fairy Tale. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Would love to see that. If they made that in a movie, it would be so expensive. The visuals of that book. Holy cow. But such a great story. Am I a fan of Tomska's skits? Do you know what Tomska's skits are, Tom?
How do you spell the skits?
Tomska.
Oh, that's ASDF.
Okay,
Tom
is
Ska.
that? Oh,
It's
Tom
like,
Ska. Oh, yeah.
was it? Beep, I'm a sheep, I'm beep, beep, I'm a sheep.
Yes.
Yeah. Or
Beep,
I am a
Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually. Where did we
Back
stick
in the
that
day.
gag? We stuck. Oh,
in the Jurassic Park review.
Yeah, but I thought. That may be the only place. But I thought we snuck it in somewhere else too. But yes,
probably.
I am a Stegosaurus.
I love beep beep. I'm a sheep.
Yeah,
oh my God.
the ASDF stuff over the years has it's one of those things where, because part of this whole thing of doing it online is, if you're a one-man band or a small group and you want to put out these gags, how simple can you make the art? There's Ginger. I was watching Ginger Pale work on his stuff on YouTube, and his styles. And I was watching Joe working on his styles, and they're coincidentally both of them are using Flash / Adobe Animate, but Joe is using a version back when Macromedia still owned it. It's like this. I guess he's just one of those people who says, I'm not paying for the new subscription. I'm not paying for Adobe Creative Cloud. I bought this software back in the 90s, early 2000s, and that's what he uses for all of this stuff. And good on him. And I think he gets, his live streams get about the same amount, I think, as we're doing here. So nothing to complain about. Regardless of your tools, regardless of your methods.
Tools. I need my tools.
Yep. If it gets your stuff done.
Yeah, you need to get your stuff done. What's happening with your drawing?
Well, here's what we got. Here's what we got. We actually have a section now.
Linda.
Just the show. I'm just going to hit return of this tiny little bit.
Yeah.
Except for me. I've got the perfect solution.
Yeah.
So, nice. That's so cool.
So just again, and if I find the timing's off, or maybe I need her to start something else, erase a few lines. Play
What's
it
that
again.
scribble up there with some numbers?
That is just a timing sheet, and all that is, and you'll see this on hand-drawn animation, it's just a rough idea of where you want a movement. In this case, so let me hit B. So in this case, this is all about what frames is her arm moving, and I want the pose to start on frame 1655. To be here by 1659 and here at 1661. But my timing on this is actually because what this is supposed to be is what you call your midpoint or a tie down or something like that. But her arm is clearly way over here. So 159 is actually much closer here. So the reason why you do this is to set up everyone in animation or even in real life will move. So in this case, we're doing something that's quick from here to here, and then the last few frames it's just a slowdown, because in this case you just want to do this kind of thing, but you want that emphasis to just slow down here. So I'm telling myself I want the hand to be here by this frame, here by this frame, and when I do the full thing, there'll be a little bit of what they call overshoot, where
Wouldn't you want the thumb showing more for the audience perspective?
Well,
No, look in your TikTok camera. The way you were doing it originally, it just looked like a yeah. So
What?
it would be a little more like that.
well, yeah,
Okay.
but part of it is like, yeah, how much? When did she go from just having her hand neutral to emphasizing what she's doing because you have leading action? Then, but it's just basically a quick methodology to tell you, and it's more for I mean, I don't have to do this. But I'm doing it to get into good habits, because if I was sending this off to someone to draw the in-between frames, this would be my notes to make sure the hand is at this point by here and here, and get they want a fast action but a slow down at the end, as opposed to just linear where it just goes da 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 da.
Right.
And that's the problem, is that if you have something that's bouncing or moving and it doesn't instill actual timing like someone would realistic, because if I do this snap, there's a moment, if someone were watching this frame by frame, where me trying to control the slowdown, my thumb for one frame would be here before it settled back here, and you have to draw those same things in animation.
Good lord.
It's a lot of subtle stuff.
Keeps you busy, huh?
Keeps you busy. Now, if this was happening really fast, I could do what's called a smear. I think it's technically called a smear, but big surprise. There's a lot of throw in a little bit of Yiddish, but I could have this, because what you need to replicate is things like motion blurs. So maybe I can actually have a whole lot of sweeping motion, cut through this frame as well, to really emphasize that Linda's moving her hand quickly.
And I'm Linda.
And if you do that, we'll start from here again.
Well, except for me. I've got the perfect solution.
So it's supposed to only happen for a couple of frames, but it gives you that sense of motion blur of someone making that gesture very quickly.
Leap Meep, clearly you understand animation. Leap Meep is asking, what kind of smear do you use?
What kind of smear?
There you go.
Leap
Meep, I just want to give Leap Meep, I love the animation stuff that you're asking about. Awesome. Yeah. Michael is keeping it going with all the movie references, but I'm really digging this. So yes, go ahead.
It's, I didn't even realize that I wouldn't be surprised if there are schools of thought of how you treat the motion blur. Obviously, you can Google animation smears. You'll see them in The Simpsons, a lot of the Warner Brothers cartoons.
Well, maybe Leap Meep should share what kind of smear they use.
Yeah, and it just, because for me, it's usually just realizing I've only got one, possibly two frames to get something from here to here, and it looks too much like it's snapping if it goes from here and then barely 2 frames later it's suddenly here and there's no sense of the movement. Sometimes just drawing the frame where you need it, in this case 1659, can be enough. But maybe you look at it and it just doesn't feel like, if you're swinging the bat to hit the ball, realistically at 24 frames a second or 30 frames a second, there'd be a blur. But for me, it's just a matter of customization. I may have ones here that would benefit from a smear and ones that don't need it. To each their own.
I like swinging bats.
You like swinging bats? Are we talking about Ozzy Osbourne bats or Louisville Sluggers?
No, Louisville Sluggers. I should go back to that baseball range. That was fun.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to wonder if I want Bob himself to kind of, because he was here and then eventually he's here. Oh, that's right, because we get into a bit of a meta gag pretty much here. So at this point, she's going to lean back in. What?
I'm saying metagag.
Metagag!
That should be a band name.
Yeah.
Metagag!
Alright, so we're going to see if she's going to lean in. Maybe by this point, he'll have straightened up. So let's actually fix this.
Leap Meep says, I use the motion blur smear personally. Sometimes maybe the long exposure kind of smear.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I love animator talk. Yes.
Yeah, I see exactly where he's coming from, being a photographer. Where.
Well, I don't know if it's a he, she, or they, but yes, whoever Leap Meep
very true.
is.
Very true. But yeah, there are ones that.
I'm following you now, Leap Meep.
There are a lot of reasons why, especially in landscape photography, you will use a long exposure smears versus a motion blur smear. Though they can be
like
one and the same.
Smear of mayonnaise.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see, what was I doing? I've got him. Thought I just.
Alana, thanks for joining us. Everybody coming in, popping in to say hello and see what the hell is
going on here.
We're drawing, we're making stuff, and we're talking yappity yap. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day, oh whatever day it is for you.
Just to make things a little
Hey
easier.
Kubi, thanks for stopping in.
Hi. Oh, come on. Modify. Transform envelope.
Dude, where's my card? Yeah, no, that's more of those 90s. Yeah, I missed that one. Sorry.
That's Ashton Kutcher
Yes, it
and Sean.
Oh, I do like Sean.
Sean something Scott, who's also a Minnesotan.
Who, more importantly, was in Always Sunny in Philadelphia as Country Mac.
Country Mac.
And, yes, I'm here for all of that. Yeah. I am a big fan of Sean. We will say that. I'm getting sleepy, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've been up since 5:30 because I don't know. I just...
Well, I guess it was because you want to do Father's Day stuff.
Yeah, that was part of it. Yep.
That'll teach you.
I made him eggs and bacon in bed, which sounds gross, but it's not.
Well, you didn't make them in bed.
No, I did not.
Just
Got
bring
out
the
of
hot
bed,
plate.
And then I brought them to him. Yeah, Sausage Party and Ted. Yeah, that whole genre. That's different. I'm more of the Big Lebowski kind of fan, personally. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I could watch that over and over and over again. I went to one of the Big Lebowski anniversaries out here in LA. It was so great. Everybody showed up to see a screening of the film. And the guy, they had a couple of actors from the movie, like the guy at the very beginning who is bowling and he's kind of round and he does that funny dance and he came up on stage and he did the dance. And the original dude was there who the movie was modeled after. And he looked and sounded just like the dude. He got up on stage.
I think at a random party for someone who's in the in LA journalism, the dude was one of her guests.
Yep. Well, Michael's just mentioned it just like that. No. Good. I don't mean to take away anyone else's joy.
That's Sex and the City, isn't it?
Yeah. Post. Yeah. No. No. Just no. Lead Meat says, fun fact about SpongeBob: a lot of the early music in the show was royalty-free music. Oh, really? That's awesome. Well, I think all the music in Always Sunny is royalty-free music, too.
I think that is very correct.
Which I love. Love. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Want Sandy, Linda to be coming in close. Slinda. Let's see. I think I'm a little out of...
She's a young, fun, hot
She's
mom.
a young, fun, hot mom. We're going to scale this up a little bit. I think I'm a little out of scale.
Michael keeps coming up with new shows. Two Broke Girls. Nope.
I watched bits of that.
There you go. I'm not saying they're not talented. There's some talented ladies doing that show, but nope.
But to be honest, my love of just the show in general is simply Garrett Morris.
There you go.
I am the original SNL crew back on my birthday, so that would have been on my 36th birthday. 1902. But this is back in 2006. So I think Two Broke Girls hasn't even come out yet. But I was
Yeah, they probably weren't born yet.
They're not that young.
I'm kidding.
But I ran to Garrett Morris at the Jimmy Kimmel show one time, and I don't even think he was part of the show or anything, a random guest. Maybe he was, but he was there, and I was just so happy we were sitting in the alley, and I told him that I knew his stuff, his SNL.
I know your stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because he looked at me and he said, You're too damn young for that. It's like, your grandma told you about this.
I know your stuff.
I know your stuff. No. Garrett Morris, he was with Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, what's Linda Blair? What was Jane Curtin? And who's Gilda Radner? What are you doing?
I'm a fan.
fan are you? We're getting a little punchy here in our closing minutes. We got 15 minutes to go. We're actually going to do a hard out this time.
Oh, Michael says King of Queens, but I say...
Oh, King of Queens, my goodness.
Who's the wife who's, taking down Scientology one day at a time? Leah Remini.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Leah Remini, get them. Take them the fuck down.
Watch the language.
I said it. That deserves the F word.
Okay.
Good God almighty. Run for your lives. I said it. That's right.
Yep. I need to get that smile correct, because this is not correct.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for popping in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because your name is Andrew Populous. Hi, Tatiana. Thanks for popping by. We appreciate it. See, I said it for her, too. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by on your Father's Day. Maybe you just need a break from your dad or whatever nonsense they're making you do on Father's Day. Although I always feel like Father's Day is just never anywhere near as stressed out as Mother's Day. Mother's Day just, good God. I worked at some restaurants for Mother's Day. That was not fun. No one's happy. Everyone's mad. The mom's mad because their kids didn't do enough for her. The kids are mad because it's their mom. But everyone loves each other. So everyone's putting on their best grin and just trying to, crawl their way through it. Michael says, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So...
Holy crap! That's a big one. Yeah, that's the kids. I met the actor on a number of red carpets because a lot. I mean, oftentimes on red carpet work at premieres, you'll get what's called a tip sheet. And in fact, what was funny is that there was a TikToker. Are you doing stuff?
No.
No, not at all. You get what's called a tip sheet. All it simply says is that the studio, besides saying the director, the writer, the composer, the cinematographer are showing up, they obviously talk about which stars of the television show or the movie are showing up.
And give you tips on how not to piss them off.
Well, no. It's rarely that kind of tip sheet. But it says who's expected to come. And then the studio will obviously reach out to other stuff. Maybe they want to highlight a movie coming up from their studio, a TV show, an up-and-comer. So you'll get this list that says, besides the cast members, Zendaya and Bella Thorne, or the kid who played, now he's definitely an adult by now, but the kid who played Diary of a Wimpy Kid, he showed up at a few of them. Because I don't think I actually did a Diary of a Wimpy Kid premiere, so he had to have been just a guest to the red carpet.
Well, my God, how many times do they, especially with no-name actors, they tell you have to go to this premiere and be seen at this premiere so that they get photos of you at this premiere so that it looks like you're more important than you actually are. That happens a lot. For God's sake, I went to that choreographers award show, which, Jesus Christ. I mean, basically it was hilarious. All the judges voted for their own shows. So it was a big pat on the back and a promo, and all the people showing up, because again, it's a choreographers awards show. People don't pay attention to the dancers anyway, but it was even more so. I'm waiting in line, and I absolutely was gonna walk the red carpet because my manager's like, you need to be seen on this carpet, even though I wasn't a contender for any of the spots. I'm just a professional dancer showing up, and you wouldn't believe somebody actually said the line, "Do you know who I am?" And no, it wasn't me, by the way. It was this other dude. And then, his friend was like, do you know who he is even? And, everyone you could tell, no one gave 2 Fs, okay, who that guy was. Nobody cared. But it's everyone's just so desperate to feel important. And I guess we all want to feel special. God, for God's sake, I'm sitting here with you on this live thing. Love me and my Wookiee onesie.
We're special.
So special. But yeah, whatever. I'm just saying, when you see these red carpet events, they look so fun from the outside. I would say they are far more enjoyable from the comfort of your home, watching, than actually having to be there at the event. It's a whole nother thing.
I did have a lot of people that would say, "Can I be your assistant?" And it's first of all, there's no such thing as an assistant.
Second of all, I don't know, can you?
Ha ha ha.
Ah!
But the idea with those is that it's just you and your gear. I got all my Nikon stuff back there. I would have my messenger bag because a lot of times you will bring multiple cameras, And so a lot of the photographers who work the red carpets will lug these stuff around. It's like, I need to be a little more mobile than that. And you bring usually a small stool because unless you are an alpha dog in the world of photography, you can't be guaranteed you're going to be right next to the front row of photographers. So sometimes you got used. So the unglamorous part of being a red carpet photographer is you get let in an hour or two before anyone even arrives yet, and you basically stand there, and you don't want to lose your spot if it's that kind of day.
Yeah.
That kind of hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, wait, hold on. Leap Meep has a question.
Yes.
And sorry, but I don't want you guys to miss out on the question. So, okay. Leap Meep asks, what advice took you the longest to listen to? It took me a bit to figure out, create from your eyes, not from your mind.
You know, I don't know I'm trying to think of places where, I was able to run into a mentor or someone else in various industries who, passed along some pearls of wisdom. Quick interruption. The poll finally came back. I don't know how it does. It's not saying how many people even voted or if I can even see any of this, but the poll came back, and once again,
Looking forward to seeing it.
it just says, yep, gonna see it, but apparently no one at least who's been checking in has actually seen it. So we're gonna end this one because we're delete poll. Yes, we're done.
Delete.
And now my screen won't clear.
No clue.
There we go.
All right.
Yes.
Please don't hate me. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go.
I'm gonna go. You said I could go whenever I want.
Okay. Well then, leave me your pad so I can use that as a reference.
Okay,
point.
it's get down to 38%. So if you need a plug-in.
Well, here, would you leave it here and so I can look at it and plug it in?
Yeah.
That way I don't have to look at my phone. It's already doing the.
I need a nap. There you go. Bye everybody. It was nice to see you.
Yes. We are definitely wrapping it up. We're already at what? So we've got 9 minutes left.
And I'm tapping out.
She's done.
Out.
She's done. She's allowed. Thank you for absolutely everything. Everyone say bye, Georgia.
It's that kind of marriage.
Exactly.
I'm allowed.
People are liking the live. They do Blackout Day in November where they have no lights on the maze in Reign of Terror. Reign of Terror. I'm trying to remember what Reign of Terror is. It's been a long weekend for me. Right? Yeah. So double check what Reign of Terror is, because I know that's not a ride at Disney World, and I don't think that's a ride at Mall of America Nickelodeon. So you'll have to let me know. Oh, Thousand Oaks. Oh, is that Six Flags? Wait, is there Six Flags in Thousand Oaks? Or Reign of Terror? Because it's not a Universal thing. A Halloween maze. Okay, now I'm starting to. Yeah, when I've done Halloween mazes out here in the Los Angeles area, it's been for Universal. Universal kind of goes all out for their Halloween mazes and tie-ins to franchise like The Walking Dead. There's a whole section that is part of the back lot where they have a large 747 smashing into a residential area. I don't even know if that's still there anymore, but it's just one of those weird moments where on the back lot it's always been weird because they'll preserve some of these things that was only for one show. I mean, the Psycho House obviously is a landmark. But there are other ones that you just kind of drive by and they still, leave it left over. Let's see. Pierce College does a Halloween maze in summer. Oh, okay. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, because people who are fans of Gravity Falls, there's Summerween. That's what they call it. So that they could stick since all of Gravity Falls happens during a summer because they're on summer vacation from their family. That means if they wanted to do a Halloween-style episode, they had to come up with a reason. So Gravity Falls celebrates Summerween. You get your Halloween episode because obviously that's 2 months after the end of summer. Knott's Berry Farm. It's funny. I am from Minnesota, and that's where Charles Schultz is from. So all things Snoopy related are, worshipped, like other Minnesota things. But I've never, other than Knott's Camp Snoopy when it was in the heart of the Mall of America, did I be in a Knott's Camp Snoopy. But Knott's Berry Farm out here near Disneyland, I have never been to. I think my kids have been to, and it's very roller coaster oriented. Which, even though my tummy in my age now can't take a roller coaster like it once did, because I've done Sandusky's, Cedar Point. I've done Six Flags. I've done all kinds of roller coasters in the past, and then the county fair stuff as well. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm from California and moved to Baltimore last year in December. Well, okay. Well, I don't even know what the options are. In Minnesota, there was a place called Valley Fair, which was the go-to spot. Of course, it wasn't indoors like Knott's Camp Snoopy in the Mall of America. So they were typically only, I don't even know what their months of operation were for Valley Fair back then. But yeah, it was a thing you definitely went to do that and their water park during the summer. Let's see. We are down to our last almost 5 minutes. And we're going to do a hard out this time because it's Father's Day. It's also, more like summer. Well, it's not so much summer in California today. It's been a lot of what they call June gloom. So if you guys are just checking in right now or coming on in, hello to everyone. We'll be leaving in about 5 minutes. Let's see. After Canada, moving to St. Petersburg, Russia. Holy cow. Hello, Lyric. Lyric Mushroom, Toadstool, whatever the emoji stands for. We are finishing up here with our current version of this, so we can at least play at least the minimal bit of progress we've done while we've been talking and entertaining. Hello, West Boy. Thank you for liking the live. Hello to the West Boy. It's amazing how it goes right back to the lovely Georgia Reed just stepped out. She reached the end of her energy. She's been doing Father's Day stuff since 5:30 in the morning. So it is currently almost noon. So yeah, she's allowed to leave a few minutes early. But let's play where we're at right now to at least kind of show that we actually do get a little bit done during these live streams. Yep. So we're going to just play this back and let's do it.
Ideas, Bob. Well, except for me. I've got the perfect solution. Are you ready, Bobby?
Oh, I think, yeah. Well, no, she's talking directly to him, so I think I'll keep her profile. Then she turns away. Then she's got the perfect idea. Yep. So that's at least during these 2 hours. It's when you're not talking the whole time, you can actually get a lot more done.
Well, except for me. I've got the perfect solution. Are you ready, Bobby?
Yep. So they have these moments, and we'll have the camera go in tighter on and whatnot. So let's see, how are we doing? We're down to our almost last 3.5 minutes here. So follow back, and let's see. I see applause from the West Boy. It rained 3 times so far in June in Maryland. Oh, yeah. And what we're hearing as far as global climate systems right now is El Nino, which is a big deal, especially in California, is going full tilt out in the Pacific Ocean. That's going to alter weather patterns, at least for the foreseeable future, and probably definitely into the fall and winter. So if you are not a fan of the weather you've been having the last year or so, I think we're just going to get more of it. Let's see. All right, thank you for liking the live. We are down to our last 3 minutes. Happy people on YouTube and on... So if you've been sticking around this whole time, hello. Hope you're getting something out of this as well over on the YouTube side of things. And then thank you for everyone who's been like, how are we doing so far? Holy cow, we've got 7 people still here. Thank you for the big fans who've been hanging around that long. It's unfortunate that so much of this during the live on my phone I can't really get into, so I get a whole ton of analytics as far as how many people liked it, any diamonds. If anyone has submitted diamonds, I mean, we tip our hat to you. I think grand total for all 4 or 5 live streams, we've maybe made like $2, whatever it is. But that will be going to the animal rescue when it gets to a bigger size, to the Bobinski Foundation in northern Minnesota. So money's not being wasted. We're doing stuff. What do we have going on here? Live goal, gifts, all this tiny type. Okay, well, look, we're almost there. We're down to our last 2 minutes. So we'll just play this a couple more times. Yep. So I like this timing on this. Yep. And then she'll obviously go into coming out of this pose to go into this. And this is going to be a tight back and forth between the two of them because they're going to be queuing up a not meme but a moment everyone knows about what SpongeBob typically says. So it's these moments where we're kind of infusing the SpongeBob world into the Bob's Burgers world, and characters will either catch on or not catch on. I've got moments like this with Teddy and Mort, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, where what's great is that both Teddy and Mermaid Man have moments where they forget about stuff, and it takes Mort or Bob or someone to just kind of slap it back into them. All right, we're in our final minute. Much love to all of you who have been around the whole time. Much love to TikTok in particular, and of course YouTube. Doing all this, we would be still doing this crazy stuff even if only one person was showing up or no one was showing up. But the fact that we have the people who see this and they're excited and they want more of it, that is kind of a dream come true. Because any artist, even if you're just people will say it's obvious. It's SpongeBob, it's Bob's Burgers. Who doesn't like that, especially put together? But it's not a guarantee. We've had people who take one look at this and say absolutely not. It's these things are sacrosanct. They belong on opposite sides. All right, folks. We are going to take our own advice for a change and not turn this into the Midwestern style of saying goodbye for 20 minutes. So let's see. I will try and catch up with that. Thank you, Leap. Thank you, Michael. Favorite Adam Sandler movie. We'll get to Adam Sandler later. But a hearty enjoy the rest of your Sunday, regardless of where you are on this globe right now. If you celebrate Father's Day, enjoy Father's Day. We're going to do grills and other things. And just soak it up. It also, for me, happens to be a 3-day weekend because our company celebrates Juneteenth. So I will be hard at work animating this stuff and hopefully show you a whole lot more progress coming next Sunday. So for everyone, be back here next Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 10 to 12. And we'll do this all over again, hopefully with more things done. But much love to you. As my wife would say, toy, toy, toy. And as I used to say at my old college show, thank you and come again. We're going to turn off YouTube first. And while it gives me all my warnings, let's see. Yep. So goodbye, Ty. Have fun. See you next week. Stop streaming on YouTube.